So we will talk about the balance sheet of glycolysis. We discussed yesterday that whenever we are talking about balance sheet, we will prepare it this way, that what are the products. So from in balance sheet, we want to understand that from one glucose molecule, which is a 6-carbon molecule, 2 molecules of pyruvic acid is produced. Okay, which is a 3-carbon molecule. Second important thing, we need to understand that if I'm talking about substance, I will you released, and second is used. So for ATP, who is going to tell me how many released, how many used? And I told you to write down the step and number. So this was your homework. Who will tell me?
2 ATPs are used in step number 1 and 2.
So step number 1, 2, 2 and 3 to 4. 1 and 2 nahi beta. If you can see, first glucose to glucose phosphate, 1 ATP is used. Then glucose 6 phosphate to fructose 6 phosphate, that is step number 2 to 3, nothing is used. Then fructose 6 phosphate to fructose 1,6 diphosphate, the second ATP is used. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So 1 plus 1. Now tell me where ATP is released.
Ma'am, in step number 6 to 7 and 8 to 9.
So it will be 6 to 7 and 8 to 9. So in 6 to 7, 2 and
In
8
8
to
to
9,
9 also 2.
So finally kitne हुए? So that means final outcome is 2. Because 4 minus 2 will be equal to 2. Understood this part? You need to calculate every moment this. As I taught you in photosynthesis that you need to take care of number of NADPH and all. Here you need to count the number of ATP and all. Second is NADPH plus H. So how many of these is produced? First we need to understand. Bolo. Where this is produced? In which step? Someone
4 to 5.
from grade 12, can I hear? Class, Yesha?
Ma'am, in 5th to 6th step.
I cannot hear you clearly.
Ma'am,
from 5th to 6th.
5th to 6th. How many number of NADPH2 is produced?
मैम शायद 4 to 5 नहीं होगा.
4 to 5 नहीं होगा, 5 to 6 ही होगा बेटा. Fourth step is 3 to 4 is fructose 1,6 diphosphate. 4 to 5 में there is formation of PGALD and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. Then from 5 to 6 there is production of NADPH, no? Where phosphoglyceraldehyde से phosphoglyceric acid बनता है. In that step NADPH plus is used. Released. Now it is not used anywhere. We need to understand this from, so 2. So 2 multiplied by 3, that means 6 ATP ultimately is produced from this. Why? Because when this NADPH H plus will go to the last part of aerobic respiration, that is called terminal respiration or electron transport pathway, finally the outcome of ATP from one NADPH H plus is 3. So from 2 molecules of NADPH H plus, finally there will be production of 6 molecules of ATP. So I want everyone to take a note of it, and if required, you can ask me doubts. Once this part is over, we need to understand the fate of pyruvic acid. So if I am talking about the fate of pyruvic acid, I told you that this glycolysis is a pathway which is occurring in cytoplasm. So this way it can go anywhere. That means it can go to aerobic respiration, it can go to anaerobic respiration, it can go to fermentation as well. Now the thing is that how it is used then for different pathways that we are going to see, and we are going to understand what do we mean by fermentation and other. So we call this specific thing as PIFR, Kostyantsev, Keen. So what is this? This scheme was proposed by PIFR and Kostyantsev, and it is talking about the relationship between different types of respiration. So we know that carbohydrates are there. These carbohydrates can be disaccharide, monosaccharide, or it can be polysaccharides. So if there are disaccharides or polysaccharides, they are broken down into monosaccharides by using various enzymes, like plants are having invertase. In our case, we have sucrase, amylase, all of them can be used. Now these carbohydrates will finally form the glucose from it. Now this glucose will be going to glycolysis, okay, or EMP pathway. This is occurring in cytoplasm, and the production will be pyruvic acid. So we completed this part in our last lecture. After this, there will be formation of, after production of pyruvic acid, 3 fates are waiting for it. It has 3 options to go for. One is, it can go for alcoholic fermentation, it can go for lactic acid formation, and it can go for aerobic respiration. So it can go for alcoholic fermentation, lactic acid and then is aerobic respiration. So as you must have noticed, in glycolysis, nowhere actually the energy or production is associated with presence or absence of oxygen. So these two together we can call as anaerobic respiration also, these two. Okay, so what are the suggestive reaction? In case of alcoholic fermentation, there will be production of ethanol, which is having formula C2H5OH plus CO2 plus energy. And in case of lactic acid fermentation, there will be formation of C3H6O3, which is the formula of lactic acid, and there will be formation of energy. Now, if I'm talking about aerobic respiration, there will be finally production of CO2, H2O, and energy. So this is the scheme or fate of pyruvic acid. So after this, we will talk about the process called fermentation. So this will be our topic of discussion today. That is fermentation. So fermentation comes under anaerobic respiration, and the person who first discovered fermentation was Gay-Lussac. Have you heard about Gay-Lussac somewhere else?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So actually, this is something which was in front of us, and we still don't know why it is occurring. Fermentos means bubbling. So during fermentation, there is formation of a froth. Anything which is fermented is identified by the characteristic smell and gas bubbles which is forming the broth. So we are using this process since prehistoric time, when alcohols and wines are used, so many fermented food, but no one was able to identify the reason and the exact. So he is the person who discovered about fermentation. So fermentation can be subdivided into two types. One is the alcoholic fermentation. So in alcoholic fermentation, there will be incomplete oxidation of glucose, and pyruvic acid will be converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide. So two enzymes are there which are helpful for this conversion. I will write the steps of alcoholic fermentation. So in this case, two steps are there. The first step, that is step A, where pyruvic acid, which is having a very simple formula, that is CH3COOCOOH. This is converted into CH3CHO. What is this CH3CHO? This is acetaldehyde. Okay, and this is the pyruvic acid. So pyruvic dehydrogenase is the enzyme which, in presence of magnesium catalyst, is responsible to form convert pyruvic acid into acetaldehyde. So apart from that, it will produce CO2. But whenever I am writing any equation from glycolysis, after glycolysis, we know as 2 pyruvic acid molecules are produced. To keep a balance, I will put a 2 over here. Okay, but our aim is not to have acetaldehyde. We require something else, that is alcohol. So in the second step, this acetaldehyde in presence of 2 NADH plus H plus. Okay, so we'll be using enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase to produce what? That is ethanol and 2 NAD plus. So if you see in the first step, pyruvic dehydrogenase is used, but do you see anywhere dehydrogenation reaction? Step A is what type of reaction? What is missing from CH3COOH? Class.
Oxygen.
So then why we call this, sorry. That's what I was thinking. It's not pyruvic dehydrogenase, it is pyruvic decarboxylase. So that's why this is a decarboxylation reaction as carbon dioxide is removed. And the second one is dehydrogenase because here NADH is getting dehydrogenated to form NAD plus. Okay, so how we take benefit of it? Class, do you think we take benefit of this process anywhere? Am I audible?
Yes,
To
ma'am.
prepare alcohol?
Very good. But we need to remember one thing, alcohol is an agent which is dehydrating and it is a toxic agent. So generally microbes can tolerate alcohol up to the level 13%. Okay, because if the level of alcohol in a medium, first of all, after production, the ethyl alcohol produced by microbes, they don't keep it inside. What they do is they actually excrete it outside, because here the main thing that they want is energy. They are least interested like about the rest of the product. So whole process of this is for the purpose of energy. So ultimately no one is interested about alcohol, and immediately after production of alcohol they remove it from the cell, and this alcohol will be present at the medium. Once the level of alcohol in the medium is exceeding 13%, after that time the yeast or the bacteria itself will be uncomfortable with it and they start dying. That's why naturally when we produce alcohol, the percentage of alcohol in naturally fermented things, that is the drinkable alcohol, it is having maximum level of alcohol is 13%. If I want to prepare 100% alcohol from it, I need to go for distillation process. That means I need to go for, you know what is distillation? I need to concentrate it. I need to remove water to get 100% alcohol. We can never get 100% or more than 13% of alcohol by fermentation method, which is a natural method. Any doubts regarding alcohol fermentation?
No, ma'am.
इसीलिए generally industry में for the purpose of drinkable alcohol production we use fermentation process, and if I want to use alcohol for the purpose of lab reactions or somewhere else, people generally don't prefer biological method, because then you have to produce it by biological method and then go for the distillation process. Okay. So the next step, that is called lactic acid fermentation. It is the second type of fermentation. We learned about alcohol fermentation. So the second is lactic acid fermentation. Can you tell any other organism than microbes do this process?
Yeast.
Okay. Yeast is not a microbe.
Ma'am, in human beings, then anaerobic respiration occurs in muscles.
Very good. I was expecting this answer from grade 10 students, but I don't know why this was not there. So anyways, the pyruvic acid, that is CH3COCOOH, is forming the lactic acid, which is having formula CH3, CHOH and COOH. Okay, so 2 hydrogen is added, and that's why it is done by the name of enzyme called lactic acid dehydrogenase. And it is requiring cofactor as FMN and Zn2+. So there is a specific strain of bacteria called Lactobacillus lacti, which is doing this process. So can you tell me lactic acid is useful for which purpose, class?
Ma'am, we can prepare curd.
Curd from this, very good. Apart from that, so in our body also many a time it is possible that lactic acid is produced, and I wish to add over here, although many notes it is not there, but as it is a dehydrogenase, there will be definitely NADH H plus involved, and it will be, reaction will be like this to form NAD plus. Okay. So the thing is that there is advantage and disadvantage. First of all, the energy present in glucose, if I'm talking about the glucose molecule, the total energy present in glucose, only 7% of it is released by fermentation. Why? Because I told you that although it is oxidation, but this oxidation is in absence of oxygen, and this oxidation is termed as incomplete oxidation. So what happens in this process? Do you think it is a profitable process or a problematic process?
Ma'am, problematic process.
So second reason why it is problematic is the products, that is alcohol or lactic acid, none of them are good for the organism in which they are present. And if you compare in aerobic respiration, there is production of 38 ATP. Whereas in this kind of fermentation process, the produced number of ATP produced is 2. So can you imagine 38 versus 2? How less energy? Apart from that, question is then why they are going for this process? Batao, chalo. Why do you think these organisms go for this process if there is no profit?
मैम बिकॉज अगर ऑक्सीजन नहीं है तो फिर ग्लूकोज तो बनेगा नहीं, तो बिल्कुल एनर्जी नहीं मिलेगी, और इससे 2 एटीपी तो मिल ही रहे हैं ना.
Very good. Apart from that, they are very simple organisms. They don't have that high energy requirement. They manage with it. Okay. Although if I'm talking about efficiency of these processes, obviously aerobic respiration is more efficient than these processes. Okay. So can we move ahead towards the aerobic respiration, which is more efficient? So we will talk about the aerobic respiration. So when I'm talking about the aerobic respiration, first positive point of it is there will be complete oxidation. Apart from complete oxidation in glucose, this is yielding no hazardous product, although carbon dioxide released by this process is not very well appreciated. It is also causing pollution and causing problem. But if I consider the toxicity of alcohol and lactic acid, the toxicity of carbon dioxide is comparatively less. Next important thing is this process occur in case of a place, in case of aerobic respiration, this is occurring in mitochondria, which is present in eukaryotes. That's why no prokaryote can go for aerobic respiration. Understood? Okay. Now, if I'm talking about this whole process, I wish to talk about some part of this process of aerobic respiration. So there will be first step. If I'm talking about aerobic respiration, first step will be complete oxidation of pyruvate. So in this process, if you remember the formula of pyruvic acid, it is CH3CO and COOH, isn't it? Yes or no, beta? Class, can you
Yes,
hear me?
ma'am.
Great. So if I just write down the reaction of respiration, I just want to tell you that it is written as C6H12O6O2, 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus ATP. Isn't it? We write it this way. Now, you remember that 6CO2 is getting released. Okay. All these hydrogen, what about them? I know here it is written as H2O. There is a reason, because this hydrogen released from C6H12O6 is finally giving the product of H2O. But the first step of aerobic respiration is to remove these 12 H2 hydrogen atoms from the C6H12O6. Okay, so complete oxidation of pyruvate means here complete removal of hydrogen atoms from the glucose. Is it clear? Because oxidation means, the way oxidation means addition of oxygen, it is also talking about removal of hydrogens too. Isn't it? Yes or no, class?
Yes, ma'am.
So how this is done? So this complete oxidation of pyruvate by removing hydrogen is done in two steps. First is formation of acetyl-CoA. So this is a step which is interconnecting the glycolysis and TCA cycle, and the second step is known as TCA cycle. The full form of TCA is tricarboxylic acid cycle, or it is known as Krebs cycle, named on the discoverer Hans Krebs, or it is also known as citric acid cycle. Why these three different types of name that we are going to talk about? So when I'm going to teach you, at that time I explain the name, reason behind this name. So this is occurring in the matrix of mitochondria. I guess everyone is aware of the structure of mitochondria. Then also I just wish to show you, if I talk about the structure of mitochondria. Mitochondria is a rod-shaped structure, and it has double membrane bound structure. The inner membrane folds in between to form finger-like projections, which is called cristae, just to increase the surface area. So matrix is the jelly-like substance present here. This is the location of the first step, that is related to the complete oxidation of pyruvate. Okay. The second step is the step which is known as electron transport pathway. So in this case, the electrons the passing on of electrons removed as a part of hydrogen to molecular photo with production of तो यू मस्ट बी वॉन्डरिंग कि अभी अभी तो मैम आप बोल रहे थे रिमूवल ऑफ हाइड्रोजन, फिर आ रहा है इलेक्ट्रॉन, तो ये इलेक्ट्रॉन कहाँ से आ रहा है? कैन एनीवन गिव मी अ क्लू कि ये इलेक्ट्रॉन कहाँ से आ रहा है? एनी आइडिया? एक्चुअली जब NaDH H+ बनता है, आई टोल्ड यू NAD+, so it is having positive charge, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide plus, so it is having a plus charge. 2 H+ ion and 2 electrons, when added to it, it will form NaDH plus H plus. In many books, it is written as NaDH2. This is not wrong, but actually this one is more precise. And I taught you this only during photosynthesis. So from where is these electrons? It is visible here in case of the reactants. In product, where are they? One of it will go to NAD plus to neutralize it. Other one of will go to the H plus to neutralize it, and there will be formation of a bond between NAD and H to form NADH. The second H plus ion will remain as it is because it doesn't have the third electron to get it convert into H. That's why we always write it as NADH plus H plus. Understood? So how many electrons each NADH H plus carrying? Each NAD plus is carrying 2 hydrogen protons and 2 electrons. Understood? Yes or no? So these
Yes, ma'am.
electrons has to be passed on. The way we observed in photosynthesis, there are electron carriers who are passing electron from one to another, another to one. And this passage of electron is done with the help of oxidation and reduction. What happens there? One is getting oxidized when it is losing electron, and the one which is accepting electron is reduced. Now it will pass electron to the next. Again, there will be oxidation reduction. So all these carriers are generally having metals at their center which are getting oxidized and reduced. So this is the essence of this pathway. Now how this is done? First of all, we need to understand that this is occurring in the inner mitochondrial membrane. Okay, so what is inner mitochondrial membrane? So this is my inner membrane of mitochondria, this one. These finger-like crusty structures are there. So this is the process which is also known as ETS, that is electron transport system, or it is also known as terminal respiration क्योंकि ग्लाइकोलिसिस में अगर सिर्फ एटीपी को हम कंसीडर करें, ओनली 2 ATPs आर फॉर्म्ड. The NADP or NADH plus produced in glycolysis will yield ATP at this terminal respiration. So out of 38, most of the ATPs are produced in terminal respiration. That's why until and unless this is completed, we cannot have this the respiration, aerobic respiration process complete. That's why it is also known as terminal respiration. It has another name, the third name, that is called oxidative phosphorylation. What do we mean by photophosphorylation? Who will tell me? We studied this.
Ma'am, production of phosphorus in presence of light
Production of phosphorus.
in the form of ATP.
Production of phosphorus.
Addition, I mean addition.
So addition of phosphorus to produce ATP. Okay. So why photophosphorylation? What do we mean by photophosphorylation?
In presence of light.
So oxidative phosphorylation is occurring in presence of oxygen. That's why we call it oxidative phosphorylation. And the final electron acceptor in our body is oxygen. And that's why we cannot live without oxygen, because until and unless the electron is received by oxygen, ATP is not formed. So this is the scheme of aerobic respiration. Is this part clear? Can we now start with the processes? So today we are going to learn this one and this one. This one, that is the next part, we will learn in our next lecture.
और मैम ये जो 3 स्टेप्स है वो एरोबिक के अंदर ही नीचे लिखना है.
हाँ, aerobic के अंदर these 3 steps are there. I wish to talk about the next step, where from pyruvic acid we are producing acetyl-CoA. This reaction is the first step in aerobic respiration, as we discussed already. This reaction is also called as link reaction. It has names like link reaction, or it can be called as transition reaction. Or it can be also called as gateway reaction. Now, why these are having this type of names? Because you know the glycolysis is occurring in cytoplasm, and now the rest of the process will occur in mitochondria. So pyruvic acid that is present in cytoplasm needs to go inside mitochondria to the matrix level where it is to be done. So this is a reaction which is occurring inside mitochondria, which will facilitate things to go to the next level. So what is occurring here? The pyruvic acid will react with CoA and NADP, or you can write NAD plus. So this is a pyruvic acid. So what is this CoA? CoA means coenzyme A. And NAD, you know, that nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. So this is going to react in presence of 2 things. One is magnesium ion and another is pyruvate dehydrogenase. So how it will help? It will form acetyl-CoA. So acetyl-CoA, pyruvic acid is a 3-carbon molecule, whereas acetyl-CoA is a 2-carbon molecule. So that means once carbon dioxide from acetyl-CoA is removed and it is forming CO2 plus NADH plus H. Okay, so I will just put a 2 in front of everyone so that when we prepare the balance sheet, it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, is this part clear? So the NADH produced by this will go to the electron transport system, and as I said, from one NADH H plus molecule, 3 ATPs are produced. That means there will be production of 6 ATP by this process. If I write the yield, I can write that NADH H plus, sorry, NADH plus H plus 2 molecules will give 6 ATP. So 6 plus how many? Over there in glycolysis, how many ATP? Total ATP produced in glycolysis is how many?
2.
Plus 2 NAD over there also, NADH H plus. So that will 6. 6 plus 8 plus 6. Till now, this is the probable formation of ATP. Okay. So you have to look into the question asked in examination, that what they exactly want to ask. Depending on, you have to give this thing. Now we will talk about the TCA cycle. So it will, after completion of this gateway reaction, it will go for TCA cycle, as I said, TCA cycle or tricarboxylic acid cycle, or it is known as Krebs cycle, or it is known as citric acid cycle. So 3 of them are having near name of this. It is called TCA cycle or tricarboxylic acid cycle because the products of this cycle in each step, all of them are acids and they are having mostly 3 carboxylic acids present in them. That's why we call it tricarboxylic acid cycle. Krebs cycle, as I said, it is done by Hans Krebs, so that's why it is known as TCS Krebs cycle. He was first able to talk about this cycle and elucidated this in the flight muscle of PGM. So that's why it is named on his name, that is Krebs cycle. Citric acid cycle it is called because in this cycle the first stable product is citric acid. That's why it is called citric acid cycle. Now I will draw the cycle and I request everyone to draw it with me so that we can practice this. So I will start from pyruvic acid because this is the whole aerobic respiration I just want to draw. So pyruvic acid 2. Acetyl-CoA. Okay, so I'm going to write the subordinate things which is required, and I will also write the carbon number so that you can calculate. So this is the thing. Here NAD plus will be producing NADH H plus. Apart from that, there will be release of CO2 and there will be addition of CaOA, that is coenzyme A. The enzyme responsible for this process is pyruvic dehydrogenase complex. Actually, we call it complex because it is group of more than one enzyme and they are doing it stepwise process. That's why it's a very complex reaction and we call it complex. Now from this pathway, it will move to a cyclic reaction where first there will be production of citric acid. Then there will be production of cis aconitic acid. Then there will be production of isocitric acid or isocitrate. There will be production of oxalosuccinic acid. There will be production of alpha keto glutaric acid. Then there will be production of succinyl CoA. Then there will be production of succinic acid, fumaric acid. One moment, it actually has to come as a circle. So I'm just trying to draw it accordingly. While you are drawing, you can use a compass to like create a circle and then erase between parts and then draw. Fumaric acid, malic acid, oxaloacetic acid. So I will simply add up the arrows now. So this is how the cycle works. But obviously, we need to understand that these steps will cannot be so simple. So we have to talk about the enzymes and others. Second important thing, we have to understand at each step what is entering and what is going. And similar to glycolysis, we will also write what type of reaction is taking place. Okay, so everyone written the framework of this. Are you done with it or you want to some time? As we know that TCA cycle is working in inner mitochondrial matrix, the enzymes required for TCA cycle are able to get soluble in inner mitochondrial matrix. Only one enzyme, that is called succinyl dehydrogenase, is insoluble. That is why it is attached to the inner membrane. So we will start learning about the steps one by one, and we will start with the first step of linked pathway. In this case, the reaction that is occurring is dehydrogenation. So two reactions simultaneously are taking place in this case. One is dehydrogenation and the other one is decarboxylation. Okay, so I am going to move towards the next pathway, that is very important step where there will be formation of citric acid from acetyl CoA. So how it will be formed? Basically, what will happen is this oxaloacetic acid, which is a 4-carbon carboxylic acid, will bind with acetyl CoA, which is a 2-carbon carboxylic acid, to produce citric acid, which is a 6-carbon carboxylic acid. So for your understanding, I am just putting a plus. Is this part clear to everyone? How 6-carbon citric acid is coming? 4-carbon oxaloacetic acid and 2-carbon acetyl CoA will form 6-carbon citric acid. So for this purpose, it will be requiring water, and the enzyme required for this step is known as citrate synthetase. So what type of reaction is this, do you think, guys?
Hydration.
We can call it hydration. It is also a type of addition reaction. So it's a type of addition or hydration reaction, because addition, the more precise word will be combination reaction, because two substances are combined. So it's a type of combination reaction. So now I will talk about next step, and obviously this time we will also learn the poem. So then from this citric acid, water molecule is removed, and credit of this reaction goes to the next enzyme, which is forming cis aconitic acid from citric acid. Cis aconitic acid is also a 6-carbon acid, and this 6-carbon acid is formed with the help of enzyme nitase. This aconitase enzyme is having Fe2 plus as a cofactor. Okay. So after this, from cis aconitic acid, there will be once again addition of water. So this shows that how simple steps are responsible to take care. So one water molecule is added and then removed, and then one water molecule is added to form isocitrate. Many a times people wonder why from citric acid isocitrate cannot be formed directly, because if it is going from citric acid to isocitrate, the energy level is not permitting. I told you, when you will go for higher grades, you will know that each steps is having a required Gibbs free energy. So it will always try to find a way where maximum energy can be harvested with minimum utilization of energy. So here also the enzyme which is participating is aconitase itself only. Okay. So after this, there will be the step which is, so if I want to talk about, comment about this reaction, it is dehydration. And this reaction I can call hydration as well as rearrangement reaction. In many cases, this Fe2 plus ion is also mentioned over here also. Okay. So from isocitrate to oxalosuccinic acid. This is a step where the first NADH plus is coming out. So this process definitely will release NADH plus. Okay. And can you tell me what this process reaction is called? It is obviously dehydrogenation, isn't it, class? Are you there with me?
Yes, ma'am.
So can anyone guess what can be the name of enzyme?
Isocitrate synthetase.
It's not synthesizing beta ना. Isocitrate से oxalosuccinic acid बन रहा है. So how can it be synthetase? It will be isocitrate dehydrogenase, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes or no, beta? So up to this, we added hydrogen, water, removed hydrogen. Now is the term of carbon dioxide. So here one CO2 is removed. So if oxalosuccinic acid is a 6 carbon acid, alpha ketoglutaric acid will be 5 carbon acid. Okay. And the enzyme which is responsible for this is called decarboxylase. And the reaction will be called decarboxylation reaction. Decarboxylation means removal of CO2. So the next is addition of COA, because you can see in case of alpha glutaric to succinil, there is this CoA. CoA means coenzyme A, as I mentioned. Here there will be formation of NADH plus. Okay. There will be further decarboxylation. So I will call it CO2. So name of the enzyme that is participating here is known as alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. Can anyone tell me? It's a complex reaction where dehydrogenation, that means removal of hydrogen, as well as removal of carbon dioxide is also taking place, as well as CoA is getting added. So it's a very complex reaction. That's why succinyl CoA will be having 4 carbon number. So number of succinyl CoA carbon number will be 4 carbon. Now from succinyl CoA there will be formation of succinic acid. Okay, so that means CoA has to go out. So I will write accordingly. CoA, that is coenzyme A, will go out. Water will come in. Okay, there will be formation of a new thing that is called GDP. So GDP is the way ATP and ADP means one adenosine diphosphate and adenosine triphosphate. GDP is called guanosine diphosphate. So this will form GTP, and the reaction will be catalyzed by enzyme succinyl thiokinase. I will write. Okay, so after this reaction, succinic acid, which is a 4 carbon acid, is converted into fumaric acid, which is also a 4 carbon acid, and there will be formation of FAD to FADH2. The way from NADH plus 3 molecules of ATP is produced, from FADH2 2 molecules of ATP will be produced. From 1 GTP 1 ATP is produced. So you may find it difficult कि मैम क्यों फिर हम GTP और FADH2 बना रहे हैं, डायरेक्ट ATP और NADPH2 ही बनते. Again I'll give you same thing, that the energy produced or released during this equation is not enough to be captured and convert ATP or NADH. So that's why this is the alternative pathway. The enzyme that is participating here is known as succinyl dehydrogenase. Or we can call it also as succinate dehydrogenase. Reaction is dehydrogenation. Okay. Now there will be addition of water. Malic acid is also a 4-carbon acid. The enzyme which is catalyzing it is known as fumarase. It will be easy for you to remember because it is catalyzing and converting fumaric acid to malic acid. So the name is fumarase. And finally, malic acid to oxaloacetic acid. This is which is a 4-carbon acid. During this, there will be once again production of NADHH plus. And the enzyme which is responsible for this is called malic dehydrogenase. Okay, so I wish you to write the names here in this reaction. You can write it is as decarboxylation is occurring. Apart from that, dehydrogenation is occurring. Okay, in this case, it is basically hydration reaction because water is adding. This is dehydrogenation. Okay, this is also hydration. The final step is also dehydrogenation. Now, how difficult do you think is to remember this? Can we have the poem? Class? Last part? Can you people hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So let's have the poem and finish it off. Poem का नाम है चलते चलते इश्क वो करते सिसक सिसक फिर मरते वो. I will just tell. It's very easy to remember. चलते चलते इश्क वो करते, सिसक सिसक फिर मरते वो. Now you must have understood that these are the indicating words. But apart from that, you can correlate energy with it very easily. I just wish to talk about that. You know, when we walk, we always like feel thirsty. That's why we will first drink water here. So water will be drank, and then the moment we start walking, there will be sweat. That's why water will be released, and again we will feel thirsty and drink water. So you can easily remember that first step there will be addition of water, then there will be removal of water, and then there will be addition of water. Now, ishq karna is a very time as well as energy consuming thing. So that's why first energy is released in the form of NADHH plus. Ishq wo karte. So in alpha ketoglutarate, Karte word will signify for both alpha ketoglutarate acid and release of carbon dioxide. Then there will be Sisak. So in first Sisak, there will be release of energy via GTP. In second Sisak, there will be release of energy via FADH2. And then फिर मरते हुए इंसान को लास्ट मोमेंट में क्या किया जाता है बेटा? What we do? लास्ट चीज जो हम मरते बोलते, मरने से पहले उसको ये करना ही है, एकदम जब कोई डेथ बेड में,
पानी पिलाना।
तो देखो मरने से पहले पानी पिलाया ना आपने, और जैसे ही कोई मर जाता है, डेथ इज कॉल्ड रिलीज ऑफ एनर्जी. सो एनर्जी विल बी रिलीज्ड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ NADH+. So this difficult pathway also we can remember very nicely with the help of this poem. So recording will be available with you. Try and use these poems, because today when you write, when you read, you may understand it very easily, but if I tell you to reproduce it after 1 month, you will be blank. But these poems can help you very nicely to discuss all these things. Okay, so that's all from my side. Bye for today. Kindly work on balance sheet of this also, and next day when we will meet, we will talk about balance sheet of whole respiration. Remember, from 1 GTP is equivalent to 1 ATP, and as I said, from 1 NADH plus 3 ATP will be produced, and from 1 FADH2 2 ATPs will be produced. So kindly work on balance sheet too. Okay, so we will meet in next lecture and complete this chapter with completion of electron transport system and amphibolic pathway. Okay, so bye to all of you. Bye.